Penguins win 3-0 last night against the Toronto Maple Leafs. The one thing I've noticed about the Penguins is that they play really, really well against good teams, and they play really, really poor against bad teams, you know. Should be the other way around or something. You know, it's something that I don't like, but thankfully in the playoffs, there's only good teams. So hopefully this trend continues for the playoffs. Moments after that, the Penguins go on the power play, and not even 5 seconds after, Evgeny Malkin, I don't know how he did it, but he finds a hole, beats Anderson, and makes it 1-0 Penguins. And surprisingly, after the Malkin goal, no one else scored on any other goalie after that, and that's kind of surprising. I'm sure everyone here thought that both these teams were going to score a lot tonight, but they didn't, and that's a big thanks to Matt Murray. I'm so happy that Matt Murray had this performance, 38 save shutout, and I'm not going to lie, because in the first period, I was a little bit on edge with him. I was on the edge of my seat, not really comfortable with him in the net. You know, not like the old Murray where I was comfortable with him. But like in the first, every time the puck got near Murray, I'm like, oh, please make the save, please make the save. But as the game went on, by the third period, I was comfortable with Murray in the net. I hope he uses this 38 save shutout, and he builds confidence and just gets better as the future goes on. A few videos ago, I said that this Matt Murray doesn't remind me of the Murray that won the 2 back-to-back cups. He looked unsure of himself. You know, I said all that stuff, but tonight's Murray reminded me exactly of the Murray that won the 2 Stanley Cups. You know, just so confident, you know, making all these beautiful saves. It's not like the Leafs weren't firing shots at him. He stopped 38 shots against the highest scoring team. So he just played amazing. And in the Schultz injury video, my last video, I said that for us to win games, we're going to either need the offense to carry us or the goaltending to steal some games. And this was a prime example of what I meant by the goaltending needing to steal some games. I'm just so happy to watch Murray make all these saves. It just brought me this joy because I was losing a little bit of hope in Murray. I didn't lose any, but if he had another bad game against the Leafs, I would have started having those questions like, is he maybe not that good? I don't know. But that performance he had against the Leafs got rid of all those questions. I'm just so happy. I hope he really continues this. Now let's move on to the defense. And by defense, I mean Brian Dumoulin and Chris Letang. That pair has been together for a good 2 years. Ever since the first cup run, they've been together. And tonight was one of their best games together that they played. Probably top 3, I would have to say. They played so well. Them and Matt Murray were a big part of why the Leafs didn't score at all. Again, like thanks to Murray, but also thanks to Chris Letang and Brian Dumoulin. They're just so wonderful. And watching, again, just like Murray, how I said it's so good to watch him play good, watching Chris Letang play good is even better. Watching him play last year was not that fun as a Chris Letang fan and as a Penguins fan. Through the first 6 games of the season, he's got 8 points. He's taken 0 penalties, and that was a problem last year. He was taking a lot of penalties, and this is one of my favorites. In all the 6 games so far this year, he's only been a -1 one time. And that one time was against the Canadiens the first time when they lost 5-1, and he was only a -1. Which is pretty good considering that they lost 5-1. And as we're giving love to Letang, let me give some love to Brian Dumoulin, who had, in my opinion, one of his greatest games as a Penguin tonight. Like I said, if we're going to want to get through this Schultz injury, these 2 guys are going to really have to carry our defense, and they did exactly that tonight. In the 20 minutes of even strength ice time that Dumoulin got tonight, the Penguins had 34 shot attempts for and only 13 against. This stat could be a little confusing at times, so let me just explain it. So like I said, Dumoulin had 34 shot attempts for and 13 against. That doesn't mean he took 34 shots or whatever. It means that when he was on the ice, the Penguins had 34 shot attempts towards the Leafs, and when he was also on the ice at 5-on-5, the Leafs only had 13 shot attempts at Matt Murray. And when Dumoulin was on the ice, the Penguins had 11 scoring chances. The Leafs only had 5. And my favorite stat here is when Dumoulin was on the ice, the Leafs had 0 high danger scoring chances. Now keep in mind, this is not the Arizona Coyotes or whatever. This is the highest scoring team in the NHL. And now I'm not saying Brian Dumoulin, best defensive defenseman in the NHL or whatever, but I'm saying him and Chris Letang together were amazing tonight. And it's not just because of Chris Letang, he's been great, but Brian Dumoulin has also been really good. And, you know, it just kills me when I see other fans disrespect Brian Dumoulin by calling him, you know, not good or whatever. But I get it, right? They don't watch Dumoulin. It kills me even more when I see Penguins fans say that Dumoulin's not good. When I hear that from Penguins fans, I just know that they don't watch the games. And what they do to judge their opinion off of here is they pull up NHL.com, see his scoring, see that he doesn't put up that many points, and judge their opinion off of that. But anyone would know that Dumoulin isn't an offensive guy. And just because you're not putting up points as a defenseman doesn't mean you're not a good defenseman. He's not a good offensive defenseman, but that's not what he gets paid to do. He gets paid to do what he did tonight against the Leafs. Absolutely amazing. His stick on Matthews. There was a couple times where Matthews was coming in. He did his thing about to shoot the puck, but Dumoulin got his stick in the way, and the puck ended up getting out of play. So we talked about Letang and Dumoulin. I want to talk about some of the other defensemen, and one of them that impressed me the most was Juuso Riikola. In my opinion, Riikola was our third best defenseman last night. I think he played his best game of his career so far. I think he played really good against Vegas in his first game. His second and third against Montreal and Vancouver were just okay. Not great, not bad, just okay. But against the Leafs, I think he was amazing. I thought he was by far his best game, and hopefully he builds from there and gets better. He's such a good skater, though. He showed it against the Leafs, and he was really good defensively, helping shut them down. And he was even getting involved offensively. I think he's going to get his first career goal pretty soon. He has a good shot. He just needs to hit the net. But once he starts hitting the net, he's got a pretty quietly good slap shot. At the beginning of this video, I said that this game reminded me of playoff hockey. Well, this is another thing that made me reminded of playoffs. Matt Cullen played 15 minutes tonight. 15 minutes and 21 seconds. That just reminds me of how the Penguins used him in the playoffs. They really relied on him, and they relied on him tonight. That's why I just said, just reminded me of a playoff win, even with how Murray played the defense. And again, Matt Cullen, 15 minutes and 21 seconds of ice time. That's just insane. Just to show you how crazy that is, he played 8 minutes and 40-something seconds last game. He played 15 minutes and 21 seconds today. That's just insane. One more final thing I want to say here before I end the video is I'm still not a fan of Mike Sullivan cutting the bench. I have complained about this, I think, in a couple of videos on my channel, on the weekly recaps. And I'm going to say it again, and it's hard for me to complain because we won, but I still don't like us cutting the bench. I just don't want to see Matt Cullen, the 41-year-old, play 15 minutes a night. Again, I think it's going to be useful when the playoffs come, not in Game 6 of the regular season. Now, I know the Leafs are a good team, but still, Game number 6 in the regular season, we're going to really need Matt Cullen if you're going to depend on him like this, 15 minutes a night. We're going to need him for the playoffs, and you're going to burn him out by the time the playoffs come. So I want Cullen to be playing 8 to 10 minutes, and then you play him the 15, 16 minutes when the playoffs hit, because Cullen is useful, but don't burn him out now. And the ones who got affected by this were Daniel Sprong, of course, and Dominic Simon. Both of them didn't play at all in the third period. Both of them were just over 8 minutes of ice time. I think they need to play more, and Cullen needs to play less. And no disrespect to Cullen, it's just 15 minutes a night. Come on, cutting the bench in the playoffs makes complete sense. It doesn't really make sense to do it in Game 6 of the season. Okay, I get it now against the Leafs, but Mike Sullivan's been doing this against the Canadiens, against the Canucks. You just need to roll your 4 lines. That's how the Penguins won the Cup. Both times they rolled their 4 lines, and they were really successful at doing so. At the end of the day, the Penguins won the game, and that's the most important part. They got the 2 points against a really, really good team. A few more things I want to say here before I end the video. Evgeny Malkin with a 3-point night, got points on all the goals. Chris Letang with his 100th career goal. Congratulations to him. Matt Murray's 38 saves were the most saves he's made in a shutout. So again, just a great game for Murray. Just overall, the team played great tonight. Murray, Letang, and Dumoulin, in my opinion, were the 3 best players on the Penguins tonight. Evgeny Malkin with an honorable mention. He did get 3 points. I will see you guys in the next video. Like I said, comment, leave a like if you enjoyed. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.